Hi, my name is Brian Tregunna. I'm a professional life coach and I'm working in partnership with Hospitality Table Cornwall to produce a series of video blogs for the hospitality sector, particularly to help people cope with the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. And this is very much being mindful of your role in the workplace, but naturally a lot of the information, tips and advice that we're going to be discussing will be things that you can use in all aspects of your life to help you not only in the workplace but also at home with your family, friends and work colleagues. The first in this series of video blogs is focusing very much on developing positive mental well-being, and I'd imagine that you've already got some awareness of what helps to foster and nurture positive mental well-being. Sometimes in life you find that we need a little bit of reminding of the basics and things that are most important that we need to apply to help ourselves, and every now and again a few little gems of information come along that actually spark something within us, maybe resonate, and we think, that's something I'd like to take on board. There's no such thing as unresourceful people, only unresourceful states or unresourceful mindsets. Everyone has all the resources they need within themselves, or they can create them. Another thing to bear in mind is that your relationship with yourself sets the tone for all your relationships with other people. So if you manage yourself well, get your own personal mental well-being as strong as you can make it, then everything else tends to flow from that. Let's just talk a little bit about something known as the stress bucket or stress beaker. It's simply a metaphor that's commonly used when discussing mental health. So if we think of a vessel such as a bucket or a beaker, or in this case a glass, which is partly filled with a liquid, just imagine that that glass is your mind, and the liquid level within it will be the level of stress that you're carrying. So in this case, just a modest amount of orange juice, which I thought was particularly appropriate at the moment, where we're meant to be keeping our vitamin C levels up. So for a lot of people that are in a pretty good mental state, then your level of stress will be at a moderate level and sort of kept under control. And I mean, if you come under additional pressure, that liquid level can rise, but there's still ample capacity to cope with it. However, at a time like this, if I can manage to add some stress or vitamin C to this glass that goes up because of the current issue with coronavirus, the anxiety that's causing, worry about finances, people losing their jobs, worry about the health impact from yourself or from family members, then obviously that will go up and up and up. And if anything else is added to it, you're at extreme risk of it spilling over and having some sort of, perhaps what people would call commonly, a mental breakdown. But there are things you can do, of course, in life that help to lower that stress level. In terms of a metaphor, we're just basically drinking the orange juice in the glass. How do we do that in real life? Let me tell you. So just imagine that in the current circumstances, your mind is like that pint glass, and it's quite high stress levels within your mind because of everything that's going on. And we want to see how we can reduce that stress level. And there's 5 main steps that you can take. So the first one to consider is about connecting with people, to make sure that although you may be physically isolated from other people at the moment and socially distancing yourself, as we're currently being asked to do, that doesn't mean that you're not able to connect with other people, and we just need to use a bit of imagination to work out how we can do that. Connecting with other people helps you to share experiences, share a few ideas and suggestions that can help each other, just talk things through. I think it's always important to not work on assumption, and if you connect with people, you can work out for sure how they are coping and whether any additional help or support is needed. Also bear in mind that connecting with people helps to build a sense of belonging and self-worth, and it provides really strong emotional support. And something as simple perhaps as a phone call or a video chat, and the use of a lot of modern technology now where we can actually have video conversations, of course, with things like FaceTime and WhatsApp, Skype, Zoom perhaps for colleagues in the workplace where you want to have some group conversations. The second important step to maintain a positive mental well-being is to make sure you're being physically active, of course. And although we're restricted in terms of our freedom at the moment, there's still opportunity for most of us to get out for one activity a day, perhaps walking, cycling, 30 minutes to an hour, something along those lines. Or if it suits more, to be physically active at home. And there's a lot of information online, a lot of programs you can follow and find things to suit yourself. So the important thing is to recognise the connection between mind and body and realise that physical exercise will also help your mental well-being. So keep physically active, a bit more stress on. The third step in maintaining a positive mental well-being is to learn new skills. And we would probably all recognise that learning and development helps to boost our confidence and self-esteem, and also helps to keep the mind active and stretch and develop it. So now is a great opportunity to actually, for us all to step up to the mark, learn some new skills and gain some knowledge and develop our minds. So we've probably all said over the years that there's things we would love to do, but we never have the time, and we put them aside. Well, now is the time to do whatever we want, whether that's learning a language or learning a musical instrument or a more practical skill that you want to use around the home. And also, I'm sure there's a lot of us out there that have been putting off a lot of jobs around the house that need doing. Well, now really is a time of no excuses, so let's go on and do it, myself included. It's like, okay, let's step up to the mark, knock off a few of those jobs that we've not been doing that perhaps help us to develop some new skills at the same time. And lo and behold, stress levels drop even more. Cheers. My fourth tip is to help yourself by helping others. There's no doubt that giving your time and support, showing acts of kindness is great for the mind, both for yourself and for the person who is receiving that support. So go ahead and make it happen. Remind yourself that it's not all just about you. There's a lot of other people out there that would benefit from a bit of help and support along the way. My fifth and final tip, as the main step towards maintaining positive well-being, would be to make sure that you're in the moment, something that's commonly called mindfulness now. And just a brief comment about it. I'm sure you, if you're really interested, you can research online and find out much more about it. But basically, about mindfulness is about being in the moment, recognizing everything that's happening around you now, and being really turning on your senses so that you can actually appreciate what you're seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, sensing, and really connecting with the world around you as it is. And it's amazing how that does bring a sense of peace and calm to the mind. So I would encourage you to certainly look at that. You may want to extend that into something that's more structured in terms of meditation and perhaps yoga. All things that definitely help to foster positive mental well-being. Finally, in conclusion, I would say if you'd like to look into managing your mental health in more detail, then perhaps the next logical go-to place would be to look at Public Health England's website. They've recently published some very useful, well-written advice on managing mental health. I'm sure you'll find it's quite akin to what we've just been talking about, but it also takes it even further. So please take the time to look after your mental health. It's just as important as your physical health, if not more so. And I look forward to talking to you again with the next video blog.